So I tried to explain to you what Prof was trying to explain that day. First, he was asking about fluid loss. Like we were saying, he was asking what's the treatment of AGE. We were always saying fluid resuscitation, which is actually wrong. You cannot say fluid resuscitation unless the patient is in shock. So you mainly say fluid replacement, or just first you encourage oral fluid. So if the patient is not, like, the first thing is the patient is not dehydrated, there's no sunken eyes, there's no reduced skin turgor, there is this thing sign. So the patient is not dehydrated, so you just encourage orally, ask the mom to give him more milk, give him more water, something like this. And there's no need for, usually it's mild, this is the mild, and he's not dehydrated. But if the patient is dehydration, which is moderate to severe, probably this is moderate, this is severe one, what do you say? You say fluid replacement. This is what Prof was looking for, this word, fluid replacement, not resuscitation. He's not in shock, so you just give the fluid that he lost. Actually, what do you give usually? The first thing, you encourage orally and ORS. How to say? Yes, or ORS, and you either give it orally, like ORS, how do you give it, or IV. But if the patient can tolerate orally, just orally you give him. Okay. And he asked, how do you prepare it? You dilate one sheet in 1 liter of water. That's it, simply. Okay, but how do you calculate how much, like, the patient needs? Let's say if he's mild, you give 50 milliliter per kilogram. Like, let's say he's 18 kilograms, so, and he mildly dehydrated, 50 times 18, and this how much you give. Okay, if you, or moderate, you times 71. Okay, this answered the question. Okay, let's say the patient in shock, the fluid resuscitation, you give him IV bolus, which is 10 to 20 milliliter per kilogram, right? And then if he's back to normal, when you check his heartbeat, okay, you continue with maintenance only. If he's not normal, the heartbeat, you continue with the second bolus, same amount. But then Prof was explaining about holiday SIGA. Like, what was holiday SIGA? Remember when we learned in IM something like 421? It's similar, but it calculates for you over the hours, so you don't need to make it like more complicated. So let's say the first 10 kilogram, you give 100 milliliter, and then half of the 100, second kilogram is 50, half of the 50, whatever left, you give 25 milliliter. This is for maintenance, not the patient if he's in shock, not the patient if he's mildly dehydrated. This is the thing that you're gonna give over the whole day. Did you get it? So let's say, of course, always if he's more than 10 kilogram, it's always first thing is always 1,000, because 100 times 10, right? And then you continue calculating. Generally, how do you do all this? Let's say you have a patient who's dehydrated, okay? So you have to know how much he lost, right? Remember, we have to know how much his weight, like he was 19 kilogram, then he became 18 kilogram, right? Something like this. So you calculated, and it's like, let's say 5%. And this is not usually what's done, because we don't usually know how much the patient weight is. You actually estimate it. It's based on clinical estimation. So let's say the patient is not dehydrated, so it's less than 5%, which is, we don't need. It's either some dehydration, which is 5 to 10%, when the patient have sunken eye, and he's thirsty, irritable, these signs. And his severe dehydration, which is over 10%, is when he's lethargic, unconsciousness, and drink poorly. So it's just basically clinical estimation. This is what I understand. So first, you have to calculate the deficit, how much he lost. Let's say he has 5% dehydration. You put 5 over 100, and this is formula, you can just delete for put it later, times 18. He's 18 kilogram, right? So you will get 0.9, right? Yes, but then when you 0.9 times 1000 to like, this is milliliter, right? This is liter. So you want to transfer it to liter. So you will get 900 milliliter. And you move the 1 to, yes. So you get 900 milliliter. And then you want, so you want to give 900 milliliter as a maintenance. You want to give it over 12 or 24 hours. If you want to give it over 12 hours, over 12 hours, like this. And you'll get 75 milliliters. I guess this is, and then you add the maintenance. I guess he meant by, like, let's say this is what you want to give total, okay? But if the patient is in shock, and then you corrected the shock by, let's say, giving he was, let's say, 10 times 18, so you give already 118 before, and then his shock resolved, so you have to 900 minus 180, okay? And then you give 900 minus 800, 720, right? Okay, my math sucks, but this is how you calculate it.